You've just seen The Alamo. See it again tomorrow at 4:35 p.m. Stay tuned for behind-the-scenes interviews with the cast and crew. First, a look at what's coming soon to Starz. Starz premieres a new hit movie every Saturday night, only on Starz Saturday Premier. She's got to go from super hip to super mom.
All we gotta do is stick together.
Kate Hudson and Joan Cusack star in Raising Helen. They're going where no men have gone before.
Oh my God!
Shawn Wayans and Marlon Wayans are white chicks.
The shizzle money?
He's here to spread a little holiday cheer. Will Ferrell.
Your costume is pretty.
Oh, it's not a costume.
Elf.
Yes.
Jackie Chan. Around the world in 80 days. And coming soon. Only on Starz Saturday Premier. And now, the cast and crew talk about their film, The Alamo.
I was fascinated, you know, I visited the Alamo several times when I was a kid, and of course everybody wanted to be Davy Crockett.
Anybody in the world, any kid in his right mind would want to play Davy Crockett. So if they just called up and said, hey, you want to play Davy Crockett, you'd probably take it just based on that. But the fact of the matter is, it was when John Lee came in and worked on the script, he made a sort of magic out of it.
Billy's playing Crockett in a similar way to his own personality. Billy can do all the Hollywood stuff and do the quips and be the funny guy and be the rube if people need him to be, because that's his persona, and that's very much like Crockett. Crockett played who everyone thought Davy Crockett was, to his own benefit, and I think Billy does that too.
For Travis, his entire life he hasn't been a leader, and he's always thought a leader was putting on fancy clothes, and that's not how you're a good father, that's not how you're a good leader. And so for him, it becomes a very complex story, and a very sad story, that he finally figures out who he is on his last days. And for a lot of these men, I think that's what happened here.
I like the idea that in the course of 2 weeks, a guy who was relatively unknown finds his way into the holy trinity of the Alamo alongside Crockett and Bowie. And I thought that I wanted to somehow parallel history in the casting of it. And so when I met Patric, and I thought it was just a great opportunity to have someone that is relatively unknown make a huge splash and earn his way into the holy trinity of the Alamo. On top of that, Patric's a fantastic actor, and I really, really cannot imagine anyone else playing William Travis. He is William Travis.
I had no idea that this set was going to be this incredible, and I was set up. I mean, I was told by everybody, wait till you see this set. It's so incredible, you won't believe it. So, you know, that's always setting you up for a letdown, right? And it was twice as much as I thought it was going to be.
It's not hard to get into character when you come to a place that has been built to scale. The old city of San Antonio, the Alamo itself. This is, from all accounts and everything I've heard, the largest set ever constructed in the United States. And again, the attention to detail is just, it's truly phenomenal. It's breathtaking.
I think anytime you can take an actor, and especially with this set, Michael Kornblit, just, boy, I mean, if there's an MVP on this, it's Michael. Just to be able to ride with an actor to the set, which, you know, we had 51 acres of sets in one place, and go, welcome to San Antonio as it existed in 1836. Pretty much. I mean, you know, there are a few things that are left out, but for the most part, you get a really good idea of what it was like then.
Well, I grew up in Houston, Texas. So when I was a kid, I used to play the Alamo. I used to play the Battle of San Jacinto, which is the battle that Sam Houston won, Texas independence. And we got indoctrinated by Texas history in the 4th grade, and then again in the 7th grade, before American history. So if you grew up in Texas, you lived and breathed it.
I thought, how can I be up to this? How can I do a good enough job being from Texas? Because I know how important it is. And slowly but surely I arrived at the idea that I would rather me do it than somebody from New York. And that if somebody was going to screw it up, I'd rather it be me screw it up. You know, if something's going to be wrong or people are going to attack it or find fault with it, I'd rather them know that it means a lot to me. That I come by whatever mistakes I've made naturally, that I do care and I believe in the story. And I think that the other people involved, from Michael Cornbluth, the Texan, to Dennis Quaid, a Texan, we all feel the same way.
The idea of what really went down historically is interesting, and to have four flawed, rounded, colorful characters within that, that's the stuff of American epic filmmaking, and it's hard to find those subjects that actually satisfy the need to make an epic.
Jason was someone I've just admired his work for so long. I'd never met him, didn't know him. I'd been told by people that, gosh, he doesn't do big Hollywood movies. He does a movie every 3 or 4 years, and it's usually some little independent, because he really is not enamored of big productions, and he thinks it's all BS, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I had the warning, but I said, you know, I want to send Jason the script anyway, and then he can say no, and then fine, then I'll move on to another name perhaps, but he was the guy. He looked like Bowie, he had a dark soul like Bowie.
Seguin for me is a character that it's nowhere, because he's Mexican, but he's with the American side, so he's more confused. He feels guilty because he's killing his brothers, because he's not agree with the dictator Santa Anna. But at the same time, he has always this question in his head, at least for me, that is, am I doing the right thing? It's like when you fight for something you're not really convinced about. So that gives to the character, Juan Seguin, my Juan Seguin, that gives to the character a tired soul, a guy who really doesn't know what's going on, a point of view, an objective point of view of the story, a presence that is not judging, but looking really what's going on here.
You can see The Alamo all month long on Starz. And now, here's what's coming up on next week's Starz Saturday Premiere. A little charm can get you through anything.
We hereby appoint sole guardianship of all 3 children to Helen Harris.
What? What? All we gotta do is stick together.
Kate Hudson and Joan Cusack star in Raising Helen.